I'm Tim O'Keefe with the University of North Dakota Alumni Association and Foundation. Delighted to have you all here with us this afternoon. I'd like to ask Jim Galloway, one of the principals at JLG Architects, and Craig Tweeden from Community Contractors to come forward and do the tough work here, as I'm very happy to announce that the Gorecki Alumni Center has been certified at the highest level recognized by the United States Green Building Council, Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design at the Platinum level. This is a great day for the University of North Dakota, and certainly the Alumni Association Foundation, especially the donors that made this possible. As the first LEED Platinum building in the entire state of North Dakota, and even more foremost, the first Alumni Center at the Platinum LEED level in the entire country, earning this certification, we're rightly very, very proud of this achievement. We feel special pride towards the many who made this possible, from the architecture firm, JLG, community contractors, the many engineers that worked on this project. I've never had the privilege before of being in a room with 21 engineers figuring out different systems, to the construction workers, and especially the generous donors who made this happen. In addition to Ben and Dorothy Gorecki, who made the lead gift, bringing about the Gorecki Alumni Center, I especially want to recognize the late Glenn Branchburg, who along with his wife, Janice, gave the money that allowed us to pursue the Platinum certification. Glenn was an extremely strong advocate of caring for the environment, and I know he would be incredibly gratified today to know that his donation created the greenest building in North Dakota. Attaining LEED Platinum status means the Gorecki Alumni Center is among the top 3% of buildings in the entire country for energy efficiency. The people who designed the building thought it would reduce energy usage by 32% compared to a similar sized building. In fact, in our first year, the cost savings was over 40%. The solar panels covering both the roof above us and the roof above the third floor of the building outperformed expectations as well. They've produced 8% more electricity than was originally forecast. The building used less water than any other building its size, 63,000 fewer gallons of water a year. The standards for LEED Platinum go well beyond energy and water savings, though. We received points for an innovative stormwater management system, for recycling construction waste, improving air quality, encouraging carpooling, alternative transportation, and recycling throughout the building. We are definitely walking the talk in our daily operation of the enterprises, the Alumni Association Foundation, as well as admissions who occupy this building. It's a great legacy to the dream of Glenn Gransberg and all who saw the importance of setting an example for green construction in our state. We're an energy state. We have a responsibility to the long-term health of our state, our citizens, our wallets, to design buildings that require the lowest possible maintenance costs with the healthiest indoor environment. The UND Gorecki Alumni Center, we believe, is the first of a new paradigm in construction, where buildings work for their owners and its occupants. Going green, however, is not a new concept for UND. Under President Kelly's leadership, the university has established a climate action plan which includes strategies to reduce the institution's carbon footprint and be more environmentally friendly. That commitment not only makes economic sense, but being green is very important to today's youth, the potential UND students of the future, as they make their first visit to the University of North Dakota here at the Gorecki Alumni Center at admissions. The Gorecki Alumni Center is serving as a gateway to campus for these prospective students. Now at this time, I'd like to ask Provost Tom DiLorenzo to say a few words about the benefit of UND being such a green campus. Provost DiLorenzo?
Thank you, Tim. I bring greetings from President Kelly, who could not be with us this afternoon. He was especially saddened that he couldn't make such an important event. I'd like to begin by congratulating the UND Alumni Association and Foundation and JLG architects on this momentous occasion in the history of the University of North Dakota and the state of North Dakota. And I'd like to thank you for letting me share in this important announcement. To Tim O'Keefe, Deanna Carlson, Zink, and all the men and women at the UND Alumni Association and Foundation who get to experience this healthy indoor environment firsthand every day, all I can say is, wow. Green is more than just a school color at UND. It's become a way of life, especially when it comes to promoting energy efficiency and sustainability. The rigorous LEED Platinum distinction for the Gorecki Alumni Center aligns perfectly with President Kelly's Power of Green initiative that promotes environmental sustainability throughout the campus. Since 2000, UND has been working to cut down on energy consumption, improve air quality, and launch other environmentally friendly efforts. In fact, UND was the first institution in North Dakota to sign the American College and University President's Climate Commitment, putting the university in a lead role on sustainability issues. As a result of this commitment, UND established a campus council on environmental stewardship and sustainability to develop and implement a climate action plan to reduce our university's carbon footprint. Our new University Place apartment-style student housing was the first university campus building in North Dakota to be built to various LEED standards. Our new College of Education and Human Development addition recently was certified LEED Silver, another achievement the campus can be proud of. UND's recycling program keeps nearly 500 tons of debris out of area landfills. And one of our biggest projects involved indoor and outdoor lighting that has saved the university and taxpayers millions of dollars, or the equivalent of more than 164,000 100-watt light bulbs. This list of savings and achievements doesn't even touch sustainability research taking place at UND in the area of biofuels, carbon capture techniques, and other environmental studies. In July, UND received the Grand Forks Mayor's Green Business Showcase Award for these efforts and many more. The new Gorecki Alumni Center and its LEED Platinum certification is a major step in the university's quest for new levels of energy efficiency and sustainability. It absolutely optimizes UND's dedication to the power of green. Congratulations to all of you who played a role in this most important endeavor. Now, I must end on what I believe has been a serious omission in this project. I have been through this building many times and I can't find an office for the provost. I guess I will keep looking. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Tom, but Vice President of Student Affairs, Lori Reeser, seems to think that this is her building with admission, so you're negotiating with the wrong parties. We look forward to the continuing partnership between the Alumni Association Foundation and our exceptional university. Another group I need to thank for their support is the Board of Directors of the Alumni Association and Foundation. The dedicated alumni that serve on our board were sources of counsel and support over the many years that this project came together, and it was many years as I look out at some of our directors who were involved here today in bringing it from concept to reality. Chris Compton is the president of the Alumni Association, as chair of the Alumni Association Board, and she's here to focus on a benefit of a LEED building that might get overlooked. So Chris, if you'd please join us.
Thank you, Tim. Rumor has it, I have to stand on my tiptoes here. Rumor has it that there's a local banker in the community looking for an office in this building too. So Thank you very much, and it's just a pleasure for me to be here. To be a first is an impressive feat, and in this building we really have two firsts to brag about. The first building in North Dakota to be a LEED Platinum, and the first alumni center in the country to achieve this status. Pretty impressive. No doubt we're all impressed by the money that is saved by having an energy and water efficient building. As the chair of the UND Alumni Association Board, I also appreciate something that is not easy to quantify, but actually may pay bigger dividends in the end. The building, as has been mentioned, is a healthy and energizing place for employees to work. We've all learned a lot through this process. Some of this you may find very interesting. People in the U.S. spend about 90% of their time indoors. That was surprising to me. And I'm not sure surprising to anyone here, an even greater percent indoors during a North Dakota winter. EPA studies indicate that indoor levels of pollutants may be up to 10 times higher than outdoor levels. But the air quality in this building is just amazing. The Gorecki Alumni Center brings in 25% more outside air than other comparable buildings, while at the same time using 60% less energy to heat this air. The filters in the building are 100% more efficient than those in standard buildings, meaning the air that we're all breathing right now is about as close to being out there as we can get. I'm kind of glad I'm in here today. In addition, all of the beautiful windows and glass allows 97% of the spaces in the building to have views to the outdoors and to receive precious daylight. Maybe not sunlight all the time, but certainly daylight. I'm told that LEED buildings have been found to enhance work productivity and reduce levels of stress and absenteeism as well. From talking to Alumni Association and Foundation employees, I believe we've experienced those benefits in the year we've been in this building. And I have to say to all of you who have worked so hard this past year, maybe the stress would have just been a little bit higher had you not been in this building. Our employees are breathing clean air, enjoying a connection to the outdoors, and have truly embraced the green lifestyle of recycling, reusing, and reducing. The benefits of LEED Platinum can be seen not only on the bottom line, but in the health, productivity, and emotional well-being of our staff. For that, we are extremely grateful to the vision of Glenn Gransberg, the architects who designed the building, and the contractors who met the standards of LEED Platinum. So, on behalf of the Alumni Association and Foundation Board, I extend a very sincere thank you to all of you who have made this dream become a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and certainly for all of our staff who work in here. It's fun to get out of bed every day and come to a building like this. We feel very, very privileged. I'd like at this time, one of the things that I was told early on by someone who's built a lot of buildings is that when you work with architects, every once in a while you have to remind them that it's not their building that they're designing, that there's someone else who's paying for it. I've got to tell you that this was a great experience for all of us who were involved with JLG, from concept through design through construction, as well as working with Craig Tweeten and his team at Community Contractors, as well as certainly the engineers and all the others that were involved. It's always interesting, when you put a group from UND as graduates together with a group from NDSU as graduates to design a building. And yet we started out on a very collaborative path in that regard from the very beginning, involving students from NDSU as interns on the project, and the entire environment was very welcoming. I knew that today was historic. I knew it was momentous when I walked in here and I saw that Lonnie Lafine had a tie on, one of the partners at JLG, and a green one at that. You did better than I did today in that regard, Lonnie. So at this time, the folks at JLG can be so proud in rising to the occasion and designing such a beautiful, energy and water efficient building, and we could certainly see how excited they were to be involved in this process all throughout the entire time. I'd like at this time to invite Jim Galloway, one of the partners at JLG, to come up, talk a bit about the effort it took to build this great building. Jim?
Thank you. This has been the greatest project I've had the privilege to be involved with in my career. It's just been awesome. But it takes a lot of people to put together a project like this. But I mean, this really is a once-in-a-lifetime project, and the clients, you guys were just awesome. We challenged and pushed some things, and but here we are. I would like to thank the team that was involved in all this. Obermiller Nelson was our mechanical electrical engineers, and I believe most of them are represented here today. AE2S was our civil engineer. Higher Engineering was our structural engineer, and we had a friend of mine that we knew from previous projects, Tim McGinty, helped with a lot of the graphics, and they're out of the Denver area. Also, from the construction side, that's the design side, construction side, and I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. If I do, you'll have to speak up, Craig. But Community Contractors was just awesome and spectacular in this, leading this charge, and 20 or some subcontractors below them. Custom Air, Lunseth Plumbing and Heating, RBB Electric, all went above and beyond. And Rogers Construction, Molstead Excavating, OP Construction, CMS Masonry, Cullen Insulation, Sticky Construction, CL Linfoot, Pace Painting, Grazzini Brothers, Forks Lath and Plaster, LS Drywall, Flement Ullman, Northwest Blind, Home and Hearth, the fireplace people, Schindler Elevator, and Cullinex, the elevator people. And now, this will probably be a first too. There's been two firsts, the first Platinum and the first in North Dakota. And this will be the first ever dedication that references Dr. Seuss. I think a building like this is such a timeless classic, and at first look, it seems very simple. The forms are simple, the floor plan's very simple, but simple's really hard to do and to pull off. And I don't know if in your occupations you find that same thing to be true, but simple's hard. And in 1960, Dr. Seuss published Green Eggs and Ham. I'll make this short. Green Eggs and Ham, and it's the third most popular children's book of all time. And at the beginning, it's a beginning reader book for young children, but it appears very simple. But yet, if you at further review, it's fairly complex. The vocabulary consisted of only 50 words, and he had a bet with his publisher, much like we had a bet with Tim that we could get the platinum. And but it had to have all the elements of a classic story. It had to have a moral, a theme, you know, and all that with it. And so things like that aren't easy. And that book, Green Eggs and Ham, has all the elements of a classic piece of literature. And like that, our Alumni Center, well, it's not a large building. It has simple forms and shapes. And you don't see a lot of the systems and nor the hours and hours of time and effort that went in to make it look that simple. So there's two things of this classic. One is it's simple. And the second is you need to take a chance. If you're familiar with the Green Eggs and Ham story, I could recite it if you're not. The one gentleman does not want to try the green eggs and ham, and he gets challenged to do so. And it's painstakingly obvious that they take him all the way through it. And once he tries it, they discover he likes it, and it has a happy ending. And I do so like green eggs and ham. Thank you, Sam, I am. And so you have to take that chance and do that, and that's not always easy. And with this building, there were several, and I'll just name a few. To have the Alumni Foundation and Association own a facility that's on university land, that's not an easy thing. That's hard to pull off. There's not a lot of other places that can do that. And so kudos to you and for taking that chance, the university system and UND, for doing that. You took a chance. Pledging to meet LEED Platinum fairly early on, having it never been done in North Dakota, was a chance. You took a chance. Thank you. And creating such a recognizable, stunning, I think, humbly, piece of architecture on a campus that traditionally is more traditional Gothic, and that was a choice that was made, but you took a chance. And so thank you for taking those chances, and thank you for letting us be part of that. And just as Green Eggs and Ham has stood the test of time in its simplicity and contains all the elements of a classic tale, So does the Gorecki Alumni Center. In its simplicity, embody all the elements of classic architecture, which are firmness, commodity, and delight, which go back centuries of the three foundations of good architecture. So instead of ending with, I do so like green eggs and ham, thank you, Sam, I am. And if I can make up a word, if when you drive up and you see this building and you go, wham, just remember that. So in closing, let me say, I do so like green plaques and wham. Thank you, Gorecki Alumni Center.
I do need to correct Jim on two things. One is, just before I came up here, he came to me and said, I really don't need to speak, and I really don't want to. And then you come up here and you've got a whole speech written. So you wanted to speak, and you were ready. And the other thing is, Jim, we didn't take any chances. We made great bets. The LEED program is administered by the U.S. Green Building Council, and we're very pleased today to have a representative from the North Dakota chapter of the United States Green Building Council here with us. Deborah Fluhassett is the immediate past board chair. And Deborah, if you'd come forward, please, and say a few words.
Well, thank you. For having me here. Appreciate that very much. I am representing the North Dakota chapter of the U.S. Green Building Council, and although the chapter didn't have any direct hands in this building, we certainly want to say congratulations and thank you. Congratulations, because this is just a fabulous building, a fabulous landmark for us here in North Dakota. I mean, this is just great, and we're proud of you all, so thank you. Many of the people who worked on this building are members of our chapter, and I know that they're taking a particular pride in being here today and in having participated in this first and this wow, as everyone has said. In addition, I'm also the sustainability coordinator for the city of Grand Forks, so I also would like to bring thank you and congratulations from the city of Grand Forks. We in Grand Forks pride ourselves in being green, almost as green as UND, and this sets a challenge to us in our city to bring additional LEED buildings not only to the university community but also to our community throughout the city, and of course to North Dakota. An interesting thing that the U.S. Green Building Council has started on a national level is the concept of green schools. And what better place to learn than in a school that has such a commitment to sustainability and to being green as UND. And so, we just think that we would like to see additional buildings on our campuses. We'd also like to see this kind of flutter down, if you will, to some of our other schools, our K through 12 schools. We already have several LEED certified schools in the state, but this just gives us a challenge to work towards. And I think that as the North Dakota chapter of USGBC, we'd like to invite you all to participate with us in bringing all of this forward and making this happen throughout the state. So thank you and congratulations. Now, as a sustainability coordinator, I know that not only is energy and the environment important, but also the social aspect. So I'm going to get out of here and let you all have some social aspect too. Thank you and congratulations.
That's my kind of girl. Except you covered up all my notes. Well, in closing, I would be remiss if I didn't mention as well the JLG Community Contractors in sponsoring this today. We greatly appreciate it, but are also investor donors in the project, as well as are several of the engineers involved and others, and we greatly appreciate that as well. The last thing I'd like to do is ask Bob Knudsen to stand, project manager. Bob had no idea what he was getting involved in when I asked him to do this project, and now he thinks he's an engineer. And it's come up in his negotiations. He hasn't gotten any further with that yet, and I doubt he will with Deanna either. But we're eternally grateful to Bob for the coordination that he did with community and in JLG. And Bob, I know how fulfilling this project was for you as well. Amanda Kosier, thank you for facilitating all of this today. Spring Baki is back there. Spring, wave your hand. Spring is she does all of the event marketing and booking for the facility, so if you're interested, you've got to put an ad and a plug in for Spring and Nikki Pesky, her team. And with that, thank you very much for joining us today. Amanda, the tours, what can you tell us about the tours? And I would really encourage you, if you haven't been through the entire building, the first floor is largely focused on history, the Heritage, the Williams Heritage Hallway, the Bergham Presidential Suite down the hallway. Please go inside. The Presidential Suite is especially interesting. The art in there is all done by former presidents. A couple of the pieces are amazing. And as you go above the second and third floor, please take the time to walk around and take a look. Every office, the art in it was organized by Art Jones, the chair of the art department. It's a reflection of the work, in most cases, that the employee does in there. And some of the finest art that's owned by the University of North Dakota or by the foundation is displayed throughout this building, because it's the best environment there is on campus to display it. And we're a pretty secure building, and much of what you'll see has largely been in storage over the years. So it's a combination of a heritage history location as well as an art museum. And if you have been in here before, the art has only been located really over the last 4 to 6 weeks. So take the time, please, to wander throughout the building and take it in. So again, thank you very much. It's, again, a historic day for the University of North Dakota and for the Alumni Association, and the culmination of a great effort by many people. And again, I'd close with particular thanks to the donors that made it happen. Thank you all very much.